panicking. Don't panic. No, I am, because I'm going to lose my job.
A stitch up. It was a stitch up.
Shit! When I lose the small side of games, I'm upset. Because that's the fucking standard. When I don't see a team that wants to play the Champions League. You want to play the Champions League? Play the Champions League. And the same to you and everybody. And everybody that comes on the bench to contribute, to help. We were so hard to be here, and we give it away. The good thing we have 45 minutes.
Do you think the best team lost this time?
I think so, yeah. Especially for 160 minutes. I'm saying that, and they are saying that because they just told me that.
Who did the PSG bench?
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta. Oh, boss, that game against Bournemouth was crazy. The last-minute goal, we went nuts. Though some people say every time we win a game, we celebrate like we won the league. We don't over-celebrate, do we, boss?
Oh, no. No, Martin Odegaard. I don't think so.
Welcome back from Minutes to Northside LDN, and today we've got the show Arsenal in the perfect storm to win a major honour this season, and we are joined with Shane. What are you saying, Shane? You good?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. It's just that that clip that you want to play in the Champions League clip. It just always it always saddens me because any other fucking time he should have been sacked and we wouldn't be in the I suppose the situation we're in, because I still don't feel that that it's as nailed down as a lot of people think. But I'm sure we'll get into all that. But yeah, man, listen, glad to be here as always. It's been far too long. I'm looking forward to it.
Nah, big up, man. Appreciate your time, Shane Guna. His channel is got the link in the title, so make sure you're liking and subscribing and supporting. Let's get into the Brighton game. Obviously, I haven't heard your thoughts on that game. 2-0 against Brighton. Through to the next round. We got Palace. What was your thoughts on that game, bro?
For me, it was about proving that this so-called second team of ours, I was told all through the summer that our second 11 would finish in the top 6, which is nonsense, by the way. But I did want to see a rake of changes. That's what I wanted. I was saying on my shows that, this round you make 10, 11 changes. Quarterfinals, you can make 6, 7 changes. And then obviously semis, you start to look at playing your full team. Any big team should be able to do that. City won it 4 years in a row doing that. Liverpool have won it many times doing that. Chelsea have. So, I wanted to see changes. I got my changes. I didn't want to see Rice at all coming on. If he goes out injured, we're in big trouble. But first half was a bit dodgy. Ethan looked very restricted. He's already sort of got his claws into him. Dowman, you can see that Arteta hasn't sort of ground all of Hale End out of him yet. So he was showing flashes of what he can do. It'll come with time. He's only 15, but he needs to learn when to release the ball and when to not take on the extra man and stuff like that. But that will all come with time. Under a proper manager, I mean. But it was a good result, 2-0. Nketiah looked solid. Mascara is starting to show the bozo moments that we all knew he had in him. I think he will be a very good defender in time, and credit where credit's due. Arteta will be the man can be the right manager to get a defender to sort of settle down. So I have no worries there. But he does have a bozo moment in him. Ben White is gone. He's finished. You can see it in him. He's got nothing left. Timber came on again. I would have had Salmon or something on the bench just to bring him on and leave Timber at home. That's the one thing that Arteta hasn't learned yet, is just that a rest is what Pep did with Haaland. Haaland wasn't even on the bench. He was just at home, putting his feet up. No warm up, no warm down, no sitting in the cold, no, traveling with the team. So I wanted that for Rice and Timber especially. But listen, 2-0 into the quarterfinals, a home draw. The semi-finals will be tasty no matter who we get, because I'm pretty sure it'll be one of Chelsea, Newcastle, or City. And onwards and upwards. It's a whole month now without conceding a goal, and it was a nice way to round it off for me.
Yeah, I hear it. I think our first half performance wasn't good enough, but ultimately we got over the line. I agree with you with certain players getting minutes like Ethan Dowman, players like that. Even Skelly getting a few more minutes as well. I think the best bits of play our best moments in the open play was the goals. I think the way that we created our goals were really good. I was really happy with that. And I just really want to see an incorporation of that kind of style of play and open play with the addition to the set pieces. And I just feel like both squads, in my opinion, both squads need a mixture, a blend of both to be able to do that. Like, for example, you've got Dalman. He, for me, was the only player that was really creating anything, especially in that first half. If you've got someone like Max Dalman in open play, he's either going to draw fouls or take defenders out of their position and cause havoc and cause space for other players like Gyökeres or Saka or whoever else you want to play alongside him, or Eze. So I think Dalman should be in the new, in the starting 11, in my opinion. Also, Lewis Skelly, I feel like the run that he made against Atleti as well, we need someone that can drive forward in the midfield central area. And you don't get that with Zubamendi. You don't get that with Rice. They're not great ball carriers. They're not great on the half turn. And those are players that, I would like to be incorporated into the starting 11. Even Ethan, I know Ethan didn't have a great game. But one thing I liked about Ethan is he continues to go forward. He's not scared to continue to go forward and take risks and take chances, whether they work or not. And I'd rather a player that takes a chance and tries to go forward than somebody who just plays the traditional backward, sideways, comfortable football that doesn't do anything and doesn't progress us up the pitch. So I think Arteta, he should be, bringing in more players like, Skelly into the midfield and Dalman on the wing and playing Ethan a bit more to give us more creativity and open play when if the set pieces dry up or when they dry up. And I feel like that's the mixture that I'd like to see from the second team and the first team. I never want to see Eze again on the wing. I'm just not convinced with Eze on the wing. I know we got an assist playing on the wing against Forest, but overall, I don't like seeing him on the wing. I'll be honest. I don't think he had a great game. And I never want to see that Andre striker again. I know people say that he's young, but I just didn't see anything. I just didn't see anything from him to make me think, okay, he's going to be a really good player. I'd rather just loan him out. But I'm not really that convinced. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I wasn't amazed with the performance. I was just happy with the result. And certain players, especially Dalman, deserve a lot more minutes going forward in the Premier League, in my opinion. I think that he offers something that a lot of other players don't. Even when he was doubled up on, tripled up on, he was still beating players, still drawing foul. That's what you want to see, man. He's a top talent. What did you think of Dalman's performance?
Yeah, well, I've been very cautious with him. I know yourself and a few others are, get him in from the start and stuff like that. And I get it. I get that he offers something that no one else does. Well, I think Ethan offers it when he hasn't been the younger Ethan before Arteta got his claws into him. But Dalman, look, the guy's going to be class. You can see it in him. I just worry for his development and stuff like that if he's to get broken up or if he's, but that's all part of it too. So, yeah, I definitely have him on the bench. The more I see him, the more I have to just relent and say, this guy needs more minutes. He offers something. But, I do look at Ethan's performance next to Dalman's. And for me, you can see the Arteta effect when you look at the two of them in that game. Ethan was second guessing every pass. Yeah, he kept trying to drive forward and he kept, but you could see that he was sort of holding himself back a lot of the time. The goal was just a snapshot. He didn't have time to think about it. If he had had time to think about it, he probably would have taken a touch and laid it off or done some sort of Arteta nonsense. But Dalman looked dangerous, man, every time. Like I said, knowing when to release the ball, knowing that you don't have to beat the extra player or something like that, that'll come with time. He does offer something different. And like you said, it's very important as well. Drawing fouls. I mean, with VAR, we might have got a penalty for him. I didn't think it was a penalty, but I can understand why it would be. It might be given. VAR might overrule the one when he cut inside and he got a little, he sort of left his leg in, but I mean, there was still contact. But as for Lewis Skelly, the fact that this guy doesn't get minutes in midfield is a crime. It is an absolute crime. He offers something that none of our midfielders offer. I've been saying that for a while. You said it just now yourself. That assist for Martinelli against Atletico, Odegaard ain't doing that. Odegaard ain't playing that pass. Especially, he isn't making that run for a start. And when he gets into that position, he's going to try a stupid scoop or an outside of the foot pass. There's no need for it. Lewis Skelly's pass to Martinelli was so good. It's the perfect pass where the striker didn't have to take a touch. Just, you can just hit it first time. So I think Lewis Skelly in midfield, we've all been saying it for time. We never fell for this left back bollocks. just because this manager decided it. But he needs plenty of minutes in midfield. I don't think he'll ever get them, because for that to happen, Arteta will have to admit that he was wrong to play him at left back. And as we all know, if anything stops us from winning this season, it's going to be his stubbornness. It's going to be something to do with this manager. A lot of people don't seem to realise or accept that when Odegaard's back, Eze's out. When Havertz is back, Gyökeres is out. And if that's the case, if he has a fully fit squad, I think that his lineup will be along the lines of either Trossard or Martinelli out the left, Havertz up front, Saka out the other wing, the midfield of Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, the back five that we've had all season. And that is essentially, if you just switch Zubimendi out for Partey, the same first 11 that hasn't gotten over the line for 2 years. And I think that will be his first 11. And Zubimendi, as much as I don't like talking about Thomas Partey, on the pitch, Zubimendi doesn't even compare. He does not even compare. I haven't fallen into this Zubimendi narrative that's going around that, oh, we should give them more money, the tongue-in-cheek thing. He's the best midfielder. If anybody watched that game against Palace, he was diabolical. He kept the ball away relentlessly. He was flicked off the ball several times. I said it when he came. I watched a lot of Zubimendi. I said, with time on the ball, he's very, very good. Very, very good. You high press him, he's a different player. Will he learn how to adapt his game? I think he's good enough, but it'll take about a year of English football, and we don't have that time. So I look at the Dowman thing, like you said, to go back to it. Massive potential. I do. The more I see him, the more I'm convinced I give him a bit more minutes, a few more minutes. And yeah, he should be on the bench more often than not, starting certain games. Now that I've seen him start and not get pushed around, yeah, 100%. But all in all, he was the bright spark. Nwaneri's finish was nice, but we can't ignore the fact that he didn't play great. And then Capier was quite impressive, but I think he's got a hot head on him, so that needs to be tamed as well. But yeah, Dowman, listen, the guy's a generational talent. If he was at something like Barcelona, you'd be looking at him going on to have a fantastic career. I just wonder with this manager, what youngster has really shown under him? People will say Saka, but I always say that Saka would have a lot higher numbers if he had played for the last 6 years under, say, a Wenger or something like that. So we'll see. But look, a lot of positives to take, but also for me, there's plenty of negatives that are being ignored. But I'm sure we'll get into them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ultimately, we got the goal. I think, yeah, like you said, Ethan's goal was good. The build-up, that run from Timber was excellent as well. I think he's probably been our best player this season, in my opinion. I think he's been really, really good, man. Timber's been really good. Yeah, I was glad to see Henkape starting, obviously Mascara as well, because we're still trying to figure out what their levels are. We haven't seen enough of them to really say, okay, this is their level. So I want to continue seeing that. Hopefully Henkape can hold down that left-hand side. That's what I want. If he can establish himself and the team playing on that left, I think our defense looks overall even better, because I still think it's a liability with Skelly there or Calafiori. I think Skelly's form at left back this season hasn't been that great. I think the assist that he got against Atleti kind of shadowed his performance in that game, because he wasn't that great, but defensively anyway. But yeah, I got to praise Kepa. I didn't want the goalkeepers to be rotated, but I think Kepa kept us in the game in that first half. He made a lot of good saves, to be fair to him, and I'm not a fan of Kepa, but I have to give praise when a player plays well, regardless. And I think Kepa had a very good game. But yeah, I just think for me, if Arteta is able to blend in the way that we scored the goals that we scored against Brighton with the goals, the way that we scored goals against Atleti. I think then that's when the team is performing at its maximum potential. But at the moment, I just think it's either too defensive-minded, focus on set pieces, or it's kind of, boxed in together all at once, not completely fluid, because that Moreno-Norgard midfield in the first half, we were getting cut open. So that weren't even looking good. That double pivot was not looking good at all. But for me, I don't know. For me, I'd just rather Eze in the 10. Either I would drop Gyökeres at this moment in time. I think he needs to be held accountable. I can't lie. I don't like his performances. I'd play either Martinelli or Moreno as a striker. I'd put Dowman and Saka on the wings. I'd put Skelly on as an 8, and then I'd put Rice as a 6, And then obviously the back line, I'd probably try out Hincapié on the left, Gabriel Saliba, and then Timber on the right. And then obviously Kepa in goal. That is what I would like to see. I think the team would be a lot more fluid. Then you can bring on Ethan. If he's dropping a stinker, then you bring on Ethan, put him in the 10. Or if you want to not give Dalman 90 minutes, bring him on after 45 minutes, bring on Ethan and put Ethan on the wing instead of playing Dalman for 90 minutes straight. And that's how I would rotate it. You know, I would give Max Dalman at least 45 minutes each game, won't play him for 90 because of his age, and then just rotate him with Ethan. And then you've got, you know, if Moreno's not doing his job, take him off, bring on Martinelli, hit them on the counter if it's not working with Moreno, and then just utilize Martinelli as a striker, as a centre forward. And then you can bring on, if Saka's having a stinker, then you can bring him off and put Trossard on the left. Like that's how I would put the team. I feel like we'd have a lot more balance. We have more creativity in the midfield. On the half turn as well, on the counter attack, we'll be able to build up a lot easier because Skelly can actually travel and can pick a pass. He's technically very good. That's how I would play it, bro. But I don't see him doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is the team, not all of them, but most of them are the team for the cups. And he's got his favourites for the Prem, and he's going to continue with Zubimendi and Rice in that midfield, you know, by hook or by crook. So I don't know, man.
That's the issue, though, Nord, is that a top manager will surprise you with lineups like that. Oh, okay, we're playing against, you know, we're at home to, I don't know, West Ham. We're not going to need two defensive midfielders. I'm just going to play Rice and I'm going to play Eze and Ethan in the 10s, and I'm going to start Dowman and surprise them with Saka out the left. But when I do the pre-match, you know, tactics, I'm normally only one player out. You know what I mean? And that's if I just don't know who's injured, if he hasn't confirmed who's injured, and then someone like that will surprise you. But you can normally predict his lineup. And if you look at Pep, people say, oh, he's washed and all that sort of bollocks, by the way, but he will make 2 to 3 changes every game, apart from certain players like Haaland and stuff like that, which he could die on that sword if he doesn't, if he's not careful with Haaland getting injured. But, you know, the weekend previous to last, he rested Doku and Bernardo Silva, who'd been his 2 informed players, but he still won the game and he still had them on the bench. And with us, you know, if Rice is fit, he's starting, right? And I call them the famous 5 of Saka, Rice, Timber, Gabriel, and Saliba. I think they're our most important players, but they're the ones he absolutely flogs. Like, Rice just shouldn't have seen grass at all. And if you look at us scoring from open play in that cup game, it's because of the young players. It's because the players that will take a risk. It was Eze. He's not young, but I'm saying he's an attacking type of player. Eze to Marino, who then gave it to Lewis Skelly, who then gave it to Wanyeri. And then the other one, like, you know, it's Saka coming forward. But when we go to the league and we have those 3 guys in midfield, all the creativity just goes out the window. And if you look at Odegaard now, I just rate him as a defensive midfielder now, because he offers nothing going forward. Absolutely nothing going forward. All he's there for is press, right? It'd be different if he was a really good captain. You go, fair enough. So when he plays, for me, when he plays Rice, Odegaard, and Zubimendi, it's 3 defensive midfielders. That's what he's starting with. And that's what we'll start with every time they're fit. So the big problem for me is that we are so predictable. And people keep saying, oh, well, set pieces are part of the game. I fully agree, man. If you can have set pieces as a weapon, amazing. But when it's your only weapon, you're in trouble. Because the last 3 league games, if you take away the set piece goals, we don't score a goal. Not one single goal, right? The Newcastle game, not one single goal. The Fulham game, not one single goal. So they will dry up. Last year, we had a mad run of scoring from corners and set pieces. It dried up for about 13 games. You didn't get one. Now, we were scoring a couple from other parts of the pitch. But you look at that Palace game, no, it was 32 minutes till we had a shot. And not just a shot on target, just a shot. You know, so there'll be games where the set piece doesn't work. You draw 0-0, City or Liverpool win. The next one, then, you win 1-0, but then you have another 0-0 draw, you lose 1-0. That's where we got cut out last season. And my only hope is that it clicks on the field as well as, you know, the set pieces. But I don't think we have another level. People keep saying we're going to go up another level soon. Under these tactics, I think this is as far as you can go when it comes to on the pitch, because they're not allowed to try anything. They're not allowed to try risky passes. They're not allowed to try, you know, so it for me, it's crazy because, you know, Odegaard offers nothing apart from pressing. What do you expect? He's been terrible for 2 years, mate. Absolutely terrible for 2 years. These guys are delusional, by the way. But So that's my worry. That is my worry, is that we if the set pieces dry up, do we have a plan B? And no, we haven't had a plan B for 2 or 3 years.
That's the thing. Like this season, to be fair to the manager, he's used Martinelli and Trossard as impact subs. But we know that that's got a sell by date. We know that, because let's not change the narrative. Everybody was calling for Trossard and Martinelli to be sold in the summer. So that shows how much belief this fan base has in those two players. Everybody wanted them moved, and even the club were looking to move them on. So as much as we can praise them for impacting a lot of games, Athletic Bilbao coming off the bench when we was playing horrendous and affecting the game, well done to both of them. I do think they have impacted the team at times, but I think there's a ceiling to that. You know what I mean? There's an overall ceiling to that. But yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Look, even with all our concerns, because we've been here and we've seen it before, and we've seen the limitations to this team. Do you know what makes me laugh, Shane? Yeah, is our criticism is looked at. Oh, you lot are being negative, and it's like, but this whole set piece and great defense is not a new thing. We've had that. We've had this now for the last 3-4 years. We've been doing this, so it's like we're only speaking because we've seen this, and it's not been able to get us over the line. Now, if we had our new additions in Eze and Gyökeres and Zubimendi all firing, we could say, okay, well, we've got a number 10 now that's firing at all cylinders, and we're getting the most out of him. We've got a striker now that's taken the burden of Saka having to score 18, 19 goals a season. We've got him now firing every game or every other game. We've now got things that we didn't have last season. What we're doing is we're seeing Eze score a goal, i.e. the Crystal Palace game, scored a goal, but his overall performance wasn't good enough. That will catch up to him. Gyökeres scoring 2 set pieces against Atleti. Good goals. But once again, he's only finding goals through set pieces, which is exactly what we're saying that we need to improve in open play. In open play, Gyökeres is still not taking his opportunities in front of goal, taking way too long to strike. So this is the thing, even our additions that we brought into the team, a lot of them haven't been performing at peak level like we expected them to. So this is why we're still so dependent on set pieces. And we've seen this story. But even though with all of this going on, we are in the perfect storm for us to win the league.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. What is your thoughts of Liverpool and Man City and the way that they've been dropping points and especially the calamity of Liverpool? What's been your thoughts about our near rivals?
Well, Liverpool, I had them finishing second. I had City winning the league beforehand. And I still think City will be all right. They've gone 9 unbeaten before that loss, and Villa are right on form. Villa are in the same form as us, by the way. 1 draw and 4 wins. It's the exact same form as us in the league. So with City, I think they'll be there and thereabouts. But people, you see, the thing is, when we lost to Liverpool and then drew with City, we getting told, relax, it's only 5 games, it's early in the season. But then 8-9 games into the season, then, we're going to win everything now because we've won 4 in a row. So you can look at the fixtures and go, okay, now we have the easy fixtures. But we've been here before, North. This is what these people don't seem to fucking grasp. We have been here before. 19 competitions in a row this manager has failed to win. And a lot of them, he's just blown it, you know what I mean? So a lot of the times he's bottled it because of stupid decisions or because of his arrogance. So I look at it and I go, right, well, a couple of draws, a couple of 1-1 draws or 0-0 draws, City win it changes everything. So people, they just need to settle the fuck down. But I'm with you. I think that this is the perfect chance, because I've been saying that we need to be, by sort of March-ish, even February, 10, 15 points clear for me to have any sort of faith in this guy not bottling it, because he's done it so many times. And we play City away with 6 games left. If we're anything less than 7 points ahead of them, I'd fear that they'd catch us, because if we're 6 points ahead and they can catch us on goal difference and they beat us, then we would start to stumble, right? But if we've won something like the League Cup, that could change all that. That's in your head then. You go, right, we've won something now and people can't talk about us anymore. But this manager will be on fraud watch with me for a long, long time. And I mean, even if he wins the league this season, he is still on fraud watch for me, because he needs to retain it. He needs to win again and again and again till I start thinking that he's a half-decent manager. Because even if he wins the league, it's 1 FA Cup and 1 league in 7 years and £1 billion spent. So I don't want to hear any of it. I don't want to hear this nonsense from the Egals of this world saying, you don't get to celebrate if we win it. Get the fuck out of my face, man. You know what I mean? All they're doing now But I'm sick of this shit, man. They are, oh yeah, you didn't believe, and will you admit he's a good man? Oh, well, no, we were right the last 5 years, mate. We were right about him the last 5 years, and Chelsea are two fucking trophies behind us, 2 trophies behind, destroying the record that has stood for over a century of Arsenal being the 3rd most successful team in England and the most successful team in London. And if Chelsea were to go on and win a couple of cups and we didn't win anything, that's what Arteta's legacy will be. He threw away a record that had stood for over 100 years. And I don't think the top Gooners realise the impact that it will have if Chelsea catch up with Arsenal on that, as in all the banter that they have online and stuff like that. The Chelsea fans will be all over them. But we have a massive chance, a massive chance to win the league this season, which I didn't give us a hope of in the summer, if I'm being honest with you. But like that, we need to take advantage while these teams are slipping up. Just keep knocking out the wins, regardless of how they come, before the set pieces dry up. Get such a lead on Liverpool and City that they technically just give up, you know what I mean? And they start concentrating on the Champions League and stuff like that, and resting in the league. You can get so far ahead that they'll give up. So yeah, listen, a great chance. There's several things that we need to see. What he'll do when Odegaard's back, what he'll do when Havertz is back, and what will happen if we lose a couple, and can he take that wobble? You know what I mean? Because we've seen before that it can get in his head. So when the pressure's really on, we'll see. But look, like you said, it's a great chance for us to win the league. He just needs to keep taking one game at a time, and when these obstacles come, see how he handles them.
Yeah. No, I hear it. North, what do you want? Explain the pattern of play you want to see. Do you think that visiting teams and managers are crazy to suddenly go gung-ho at the Emirates? Listen, this manager talks a lot, this club talks a lot about versatility. Can we have some versatility in tactics and in-game tactics as well, and adjustments? All I'm asking for is, we already know we have a defense that we can rely on. Play some good open play football. 22-23 season, look at the way we counter-attacked. We defended well, and let's say that people would say that our defense has got even better right now. So you can play that, counter-attacking football, but actually have a way to counter-attack and break down teams in open play in a good, in an actual convincing manner, and actually be able to string together 2-3 passes out from the back and not look all over the place. That's what I want to see. I want to see runs from players. I want to see players like Eze. He thrives off of runs, and a lot of times he's getting the ball when it's static. We have moments where we bomb forward, but it's very, very static. And the performance against Atleti was the kind of performance I want to see. We were pragmatic, but on the break, on the counter-attack, we was going forward. We were asking questions of their defense. This is what I want to see, and we've got the squad to do it. If man asks me if I believe about Arteta, I believe that this squad's good enough to win the league. And I think no matter, everybody's been saying Arteta outers, Arteta redders. We've all been saying the squad is good enough to win the league. All it needs is to be managed properly and to be coached properly. That's all we've been asking for. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I want to see. I don't want to see pragmatic football, because pragmatic football only, there was a ceiling again for that in all competitions last season. Like, let's not go on like this set piece FC has even bought us a Carabao Cup. It's not bought us any form of silverware. Let's just be honest about it. People want to talk about this style of football. What trophy has it bought us? It hasn't bought us any trophy, which means you have to evolve on top of what you're doing to get over the line to win something. So go out there and actually coach the team to play football. The best times we see this team is when they actually play counter-attacking football. That is the best version of this team. I'm not necessarily saying bomb forward and play a massive high line and everyone bombing forward and start playing like Klopp football. I'm just saying play some good counter-attacking football. We've got a defense that we can rely on, and we've got a midfield that a lot of the times does shield the back line. And we've got a lot of pacey players that can get back. Timber can get back. Do you know what I mean? We'll see how good Hincape is. So I just want to see the manager actually creating more opportunities and not just set pieces all the time. That's what I want to see. And on a consistent basis. We have moments where we do that, but we don't do it for 90 minutes. I want to see a 90-minute performance as well. There's been a lot of games this season that we've played well for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. What? No, you need to perform for 90 minutes. When you look at the performance that we had against Brighton, yeah. Against better opposition, we would have been 3-0 down at halftime. The opportunities that we were affording them. And some people say, "Oh, well, we're not going to play that team all the time." Yeah, we're not going to play that team all the time. But do we play any better in open play with the main starting 11? We don't play any better in open play. So it's like, I just want. We already know this, Shane. Everything we say, the majority of the people that disagree with us, they'll understand at the end of the season. But then when they understand what we're saying, then they'll say, "Oh, but you didn't believe this and that." And this is just it is
it's the same thing. And do you know what it is? Another thing that's going around now is about the squad depth. If we had made 10 changes last season, we would have lost that game. Right, but he made 10 changes in that competition a couple of times last season and we got to the semis. So what are they talking about? You know what I mean? It's about who you play and the way you play. And AJ's there said to, and spot on to Charles that we can play that attacking football. We played it in 22-23. And Charles said, AJ, in 22-23, we did not play like that full season. 38 games is a misconception. It was the first 19 games only that approach. Let's go on that road, deep dive, what happened. Exactly. So the first half is when we went 8 points clear. The second half is when we threw it away. So you just pretty much proved our point that football, if we had sustained it, we would have been all right. And that season fell apart, actually, when Sean Dyche's first game for Everton, I think it was December, we went to Goodison. He locked us up and we had won 5-6 in a row. We got about 2 shots on target and we lost 1-0. And teams realised from then on that a low block for the second half of the season would do Arteta in, and he's still struggling to figure it out 3 years later. This nonsense north of a low block, I mean, that used to just be called locking up, or it used to be called playing defensive or parking the bus. It's been happening for time since football was invented. Madrid face a low block every week and have done since their inception. Barcelona face a low block every week and have done since their inception. Atletico Madrid face low blocks. Liverpool do. City do. Chelsea do. Even Tottenham do. It's such a fucking... why is this an excuse for this guy? It wasn't an excuse. It didn't even exist. This phrase of struggling to break down a low block didn't exist until Arteta started fucking pissing and moaning about it and people were making excuses for him. Figure it out, mate. You have all the players. You have 1.3 billion to learn how to break down a low block. And you know how you do it? And big up to Static. He said it the other day. Just move the ball a bit quicker. Simple as that. Move the ball a bit quicker. Be a bit more adventurous. Don't start a game at home to Ipswich like last season with 2 holding midfielders. Why are you starting with 2 holding midfielders when you know that they are probably not even going to leave their half? Just play Royce in the 6, play all of your attacking players, bash them at the start, and then you can start locking up. But this guy never learns from his mistakes. And this is what we worry about. If I had seen him just once either take responsibility, take accountability, or learn from his mistakes, I would go, okay, fair enough. But I don't see any sign of that. I don't see any sign of him learning from his mistakes. He's still flogging the same players. And North, if we lose Declan Rice, not just for the set pieces, he's holding it together for the likes of Zubimendi. And ironically, it'll be the amount of running he's doing, protecting these guys, that will cause his injury. If we lose him for 3 or 4 weeks, people will see. Set pieces will dry up and the midfield will get found out. People acting like because we haven't let in a goal in 6 games or whatever it is this month. That doesn't last forever. Do people really think it lasts forever? This is the problem. Like, you can't have... It was someone on AFTV apparently after the match last night. Oh, Dowman should be in the England World Cup squad. Why do they have to take one good thing and just fucking blow it up out of all proportion and say, oh, well, now we have the bet? And I've openly said now, just recently, and it takes a lot for me to say that something's the best in the world or something's world class. We do have the best defense in the world at the moment, right? And we do have the best defense. As a unit, they're the best defense in the world at the moment. So you can afford to let your attackers go. Because the key to what makes it an actual world-class defense and the ones you remember through time are the ones that they didn't always have a bank of 4 in front of them. So as soon as we lose the ball, we have a bank of 4 in front of the defense because everybody's forced to get back and we cover more ground than ever. And the thing is, with the Invincibles, when they had a back 4 like that, it was normally, a lot of times they were left on their own because everybody else went forward. So a really, really world-class defense can handle that. They can handle it when they get counter-attacked. Getting counter-attack's part of the game, right? It's part of the game. You have to trust your defense. And you look at Gyökeres, he's covered 20% more per game on average than he did at Sporting. And he's done nothing. It's just been tracking back all the time. So all the players are knackered. So if I want to see a world-class defense, they need players to be allowed attack and then still defend. I'm not saying go gung-ho. I'm not saying throw everything at them. I'm saying stop fucking... All he does, he gets paid 15.6 million a year just to wave everybody back. Wave them back. You know, I'd rather let in 5 or 6 more goals throughout a season to give myself the opportunity to score 15, 20 more. I mean, not even just for the maths. It's just it makes more sense. You could put teams to bed after 20, 30 minutes and then shut up shop. I thought that's what Liverpool were trying to do this season. I think that was their aim. It just, they tidn't realise that the defence had just turned to shit. But yeah, look, you know, I'm all for it. I'm all for playing attacking football. I'm not saying go gung-ho, but we do need to find a balance, because if the set pieces dry up, we could be in trouble. We really could be.
Yeah, man. Like I said, despite of our concerns, I mean, what's going on with Slot is crazy. Like the formation, putting out the kids. Even before, I was already criticizing his lineup, but I think he's got too many fires to put out there. There's too many issues now at Liverpool for them to be an issue this season, in my opinion. I actually had them winning the league, but looks like my prediction was wrong. You know what I mean? I think that calamity going on, Man City as well. I know they went on a run and they lost again. They lost the other day as well. So I just think everything's just working really in our favor. It's just I think the only thing that can lose Arsenal the league this season is Arsenal. It's how we deal with the pressure and how we deal with our games. We've got a load of games coming up right now that we should be winning. Burnley, we should be winning that. Obviously, then Champions League game. Then we got Sunderland. Then we got Tottenham. Tottenham been all over the place. So there's not even get me. I know it's a North London derby. You can't write them off. I've seen Tottenham in the mud or finishing 12 and 14.
See, their away form's really good. No, their away form's really good. It's their home form that's letting them down. So
that team there, that team there, we should be dealing with them. I mean, they were struggling against Bodo Glimt, you know what I mean, this season. So, and they couldn't even get the win against Wolves this season. That's how bad these lot have been. Do you know what I mean? And that defense can always get got at. Tottenham's defense can always get got at. You know what I mean? So I just think we've got a load of games right now that we should be winning. And then we've got a hard November. We got obviously we've got North London derby, never an easy game, no matter what.
Villa twice.
We've got Bayern.
We have Villa twice.
Yeah, I mean Sunderland as well. That ain't going to be an easy game. Sunderland ain't going to just let us just go and do what we want. Obviously, December we've got Aston Villa. We've got a couple of tough games. That we have to go. But yeah, I just feel like the only thing that can lose it is us. Just like when the 22-23 season, like we bopped it. We started dropping points. I think we lost 1-0 to Forest that season as well. We started dropping
3-0 with Southampton.
Yeah, those kind of games, and that it wasn't even the strength of the opposition. It was the pressure moment and the expectation being risen. So that's why I feel like the only thing that can stop us this season is really us. I don't see. I mean, Man City, I'm not writing Man City off, to be fair. I'm not writing Man City off saying that they, but at the same time, I think Pep tinkers a bit too much at times. And I think lately it's been costing them quite a few points, even though they're still within touching distance. Too much tinkering at times. I think that's why they, ended up losing to Villa, changing certain things that won them the other games. But let's not forget, before Villa, they went on a run of quite a few wins. I know they got a draw in between that for Monaco, but they went and they were quietly going about their business and just win after win after win. So Pep's always capable of stringing together a load of wins. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to be careful about.
Yeah, well, look, for me, like I said, with City, they've had a lot of players out. They're getting them back. He is trying to adjust their game. He started it in January. We're trying to sort of make them more direct. But you can't count out City. If City went off on a 6-7 game winning streak, nobody would be really surprised. I just do feel, like you say, it just seems like everyone else is just sort of feeling it at the moment, and we look a lot more solid. And I do with Slot, man. I mean, I'll be covering this later tonight because I'm all for, and which sounds crazy, but I'm all for giving I'm all for giving managers time, but only a certain amount of time. But with Liverpool, I kind of feel like I wouldn't begrudge them sacking him, because it just feels like he's lost the dressing room. Something has happened there, because you don't just switch like that, unless he's just got a load of prima donnas that he just can't seem to get. They're just sulking or what the story is. For me, what I would have done if I was him to give Salah a kick up the arse is play him last night with all the reserves. I would have played him in the League Cup last night and said, earn your 400 grand a week. You go up there and play with all these unknowns. And, that's what I would have done, because Salah needs a kick right up the arse with the way he's been playing. Same for Kanate. He needs a kick up the arse. So I do look at Liverpool and think, wow, I keep saying all the way up until last week, they're going to turn it around. They're going to turn it around. But after a while, you have to start thinking, maybe they won't. Maybe they won't. I did say that one of the reasons they wouldn't win the league was because of, the second season syndrome. It's very hard to retain the league. We said before, only 3 managers in Premier League have done it, and they're legends. Mourinho, Pep, and Sir Alex Ferguson are the only 3 to retain the league. So it is very, very hard to do. So I sort of felt that Slot might be cut out. I think a big mistake he's made is what he did right last season was he came in, he kept a lot of what Klopp has done and just made a couple of tweaks. And now this season, he seems to have gone, right now I'm going to really make it my team. And you just go, what are you doing? Because big up to Gianni, man, absolute legend. He's said it before that major clubs, the big clubs in every country, the Napolis in Italy and the Atleticos and Madrids and Barcelona and stuff, they have a certain DNA to their team, that you should never really stray too far from it. Like West Ham managers, when they come in, they should know that they need to, number one, use a lot of youth from the academy if they're good and play decent football. Arsenal's you play decent football. The only time that sort of went out the window was George Graham, and the football wasn't as bad as people remember, by the way. It wasn't as bad as it is now, and I'll tell you that right now. But he's trying to change too much now for me, and it's really backfiring on him. But I do look at their players, and I look at him on the sideline, and I just think maybe they should just pull the trigger now. Maybe they really should, because as cruel as it seems, something has switched. That it's normally that thing that's very hard to get back, i.e. the dressing room. And it wouldn't be a crazy thing to do. I mean, Leicester fucking sacked Ranieri halfway through the season after they won the league, and that was Leicester winning the league. So for Slot and Liverpool, I do fear that I fear that they're out of it. Again, how quickly things can change. If we were to lose at the weekend, which I don't think we will, I think we win 1-0. But if we did lose at the weekend and they won, they're right back in it. But having said that, if we beat Burnley before they play, we're 10 points ahead of them. And mentally, that could destroy them. So there will come a point when Liverpool, Chelsea, and then City as well, if we're far enough ahead of them, where they go, do you know what? Let's just concentrate in the Champions League. And then we should just be able to stroll it. So, listen, I'll always admit when I'm wrong. In the summer, I had us finishing, I said we'd struggle to get top 4. That's all changed now. Obviously, it could mathematically still happen, but it's not going to. You know what I mean? But I had City up there, I had Liverpool up there, and I had Chelsea up there, and I had Villa up there. And I had Newcastle up there, but Newcastle could go on a run. Villa are on a run. But what do you think of how Valdemaida's doing there? Because when all the strikers were being mentioned in the summer, he was right down the list. I mean, it's like Newcastle missed out on everybody. And on top of that, actually, I did want to ask you. So, number one, what do you think of Valdemaida? And what do you think Gyökeres would be doing if he was at Newcastle, if they had got him? Do you think Gyökeres would be having a completely different season, playing under Eddie Howe with what he gets out of attacking players? Or do you think that he's just not good enough?
Nah, I don't know. I'm now looking at Gyökeres thinking, I'm not too sure if it's only just our playing style anymore. Like the opportunities that I've seen Gyökeres getting in the last couple of games, when even our centre-backs were finding him and he was missing opportunities, I was like, it's a massive question mark right now if he's good enough.
But is the misses he's having now, though, is that not a byproduct of being starved of service previously, that he's snatching at chances now? Because, I get the feeling that if he was playing, and he's had 19 shots, he's averaging only getting 2 shots a game. That's not enough for a striker like him. So I just wonder if he was at Newcastle, where you're with a manager like Eddie Howe, who has, average players, like Jacob Murphy playing really, really good football, and Gordon playing really good football, and now he's got this Valdemaida lad that nobody was looking at, and he looks like a world beater. I just wonder, because he seems to build a system around. Look at Isak after he's gone to Liverpool. You know what I mean? So I do wonder if a change of system. I know I'm with you. Sorry, and I don't mean to cut across, but I'm with you that Gyökeres, he's definitely on fraud watch now. He's definitely on fraud watch. Now I'm starting to think, Jesus, Kenny Ken, he did say it, and it crossed my mind, why hasn't this guy made it beforehand? But I always countered that with, well, Ian Wright made it late, and certain strikers, Vardy made it late, and things like that. But for me, he is the type of Andy Cole striker who needs 6-7 chances a game, and then when he starts scoring, he'll keep scoring. I just wonder, you know, how you feel about it. If he was getting 7-8 chances a game, do you think he'd be as bad as he is, or is he snatching at chances because he's not getting service?
I hear the whole, you know, he's been not playing with a consistent midfield. He's not been able to make any chemistry with certain players because Arteta keeps changing around the starting 11 and the midfielders. So I do hear that point. But at the same time, I feel like in that Palace game, Gabriel, Saliba, Trossard all created chances for him. And I'm seeing this guy not even having a shot, Shane. Like he's getting into dangerous areas and not even releasing the shot. Now that to me is not a tactical thing. That's now on the player and his own anticipation. And he's not even taking a shot. I seen him running across the box and still not releasing the shot. I seen him running on the wing, cutting in, not releasing the shot, taking way too many touches. That for me, I'm like, okay, you're receiving the ball in dangerous areas and you're not even at least working the goalkeeper. That's where I put it a little bit on the striker because I'm like, well, release the shot, make the keeper work for it. You know what I mean? You're not even giving him a shot to even worry about. But I hear the whole, you know, we're not constantly trying to find him or trying to get him involved in the way that we counter attack. So I think the blame at the moment is on a bit of both. I think at the start of the season, it was completely on Arteta, but right now, I'm not seeing him shoot at moments where he has that opportunity. Even with that mistake against Crystal Palace, where the centre-backs absolutely missed it. And I think they went up to header it and they completely missed it. Gyökeres then won the ball. And he was just so slow to put the burners on. And he was going to be through straight on goal. And he's just taking too many touches, taking too long to get up to speed. And I'm just like, this looks really bad, man. You know what I mean? It just looks really bad. Listen, pure vibes. Maybe he is overthinking it. It. But I'm seeing him in opportunities. And I'm not seeing him at least making the most of those opportunities. So I don't know, man. I'll still give him a bit of time. But at the moment, I don't know. It's not clicking, and I'm just looking at it thinking we can all see his limitations as a player. He's definitely not a false nine. He's definitely not a techie striker. I don't really care about all of that. Just score me goals. Like that's not my main thing. Like you don't have to be the most technically gifted striker. Just when you get opportunities, just put it in the back of the net. You know what I mean? And I'm just not even seeing him releasing the shot. So I don't know, man. Maybe Eddie Howe would get him cooking a bit more at Newcastle. I mean, they do make more forward runs. They do look more for the runners when they go forward. But I don't know, man. I don't think it's completely the system. I think it's a bit on Gyökeres as well. I think maybe he's low confidence. Maybe he's overthinking it. And he just needs to just release the shot, man. It's so frustrating watching him lately. Just like, release the shot, bro. Like, what? He's trying to set like he's got all this time, like he's back in the Portuguese league. And it's like, bro, you're in the Prem. You don't have that time.
Yeah, no, fully agree. I agree with that as well. I do think the system has a lot to blame for it. I do think that he's used to being found every single run. There has to be a bit of give and go where he has to adjust to the system as well. But I've said this about him before, that he's never going to be world class, Gyökeres, in any way, shape, or form. He was never going to be. I didn't say it when we were first looking at him, anything like that, when I said he was a striker I wanted. But I've often said that there's a load of things that he is not very good at all. A lot of things he's not very good at. But there's 2 or 3 things that he is world class at, you know, finishing runs off the shoulder, that sort of thing. So maybe it is the whole thing of playing in a different league or playing at a club where everything's built around him. And will he ever be good enough to play in a big team where it's not all about him? That's my worry now. And you basically covered all those bases there. That's what I do worry about. I don't think he has what it takes to adjust to a system. I don't think he's good enough. I just don't think he's good enough to adjust to a system. So maybe it was the wrong signing, who knows? But we could be sitting here 2 months from now and he just goes off on one. But like that, it could just be the Andy Cole thing when he went to United. And he's the same sort of forward, actually, really needs a lot of chances to score and a killer in and around the box. But Andy Cole, if you remember when he first came to United, he couldn't hit a barn door and there was a lot of pressure on him, and United slipped up in the league and they didn't win the league and he got the blame. I think it was Gary Pallister said that he said to him, you know, listen, one of them's going to go in off your arse or something like that, and then you'll find your feet. And he did. He went off on one. But again, Andy Cole would have had a play built around getting him goals. I do worry for Gyökeres. The more I watch him, the more I go, well, you know, you just look awkward. You look out of place. He looks shell-shocked sometimes. When you see his face, Nord, he just looks shell-shocked. It looks like he's just gone, fuck, man, this is too big for me, you know, and maybe it is. Maybe it's a mentality thing. Maybe that's why he didn't make it earlier in his career. I don't know, but something's definitely not right. Listen, I think he knows deep down as well that the second Havertz is fit, he's out. Like, he knows that. He knows he's out, and he knows he's living on borrowed time, which will only add to his nervousness, because it has sort of been leaked, or whatever way you want to put it, that Havertz would have started the first games up front if he had been fully fit, and he wasn't. So I think he knows deep down that he's not wanted. I think he knows that his time is limited. And you do find that as well with Ethan when he gets a rare run out. That, like, he knows that, well, 60 minutes I'm getting hooked off. Eze, you can see that in him now. He knows he's getting hooked off if he doesn't, you know, have a man of the match performance. So yeah, I do worry for Gyökeres. And with Eze as well out the wing, and even in the 10, he's having flashes. But I think Eze is good enough to adapt to any system. But what do you think that when Odegaard comes back, do you think Eze's getting thrown out the wing, or do you think he's just getting dropped, or do you think he'll keep his place?
Yeah, I think he's going to get moved onto the wing. I think he's going to play on the wing. I agree. I think he's going to be moved onto the wing. I don't think he's going to get fully dropped, even though I wouldn't be surprised. But I think, yeah, Odegaard's going to go in the 10, and then Eze will be played on the left. I think that's what the manager will probably do. I think that's been his plan the whole time, to play Eze on the wing. And have another creative player on the wing. And I just, like I said, a lot of times this manager does the experiments that I wish he didn't do. And the experiments I wish he would do, he doesn't do. So it's just, you know how it is frustrating, because you're just like, look, I'll be real. Eze hasn't been amazing so far.
No, flat.
Has he been effective? Yes. I think that's the best way to describe Eze. There's been a lot of games where he's been effective, but he hasn't been great in terms of performances. He hasn't. Crystal Palace scored a goal. Wasn't good that game. You know what I mean? Forest got an assist. Wasn't amazing that game, playing on the wing. So I think he's been effective at times, but even I felt like sometimes he takes too many touches in the final half, in the opposition box as well. He likes to do these kind of drop of the shoulder and feint, and sometimes he takes too long, and then we lose the numerical advantage on the break. And sometimes I just wish that Eze would play the ball a bit faster. He'd be a bit more direct, a bit faster. But I know at the same time, we don't always make those runs that he's looking for. We don't always, commit players forward. But he's been good. He's been good. But I do think there's levels that he can get to. I just think he needs to be a bit faster with his decision making, in my opinion. That's what I'd like to see from him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do feel that he's a bit overawed as well at times. Well, he's adapted quite quickly. That goal against Palace in the league would have done him the world of good. What a finish, by the way. What an absolute wonderful. Another thing that Odegaard would never. But what a finish. But I do worry. That's my thing. And we did say it at the opening. That if this guy somehow gets close to a fully fit squad, that we will see the old team, basically the old starting 11 that wasn't good enough beforehand. But I got gun to your head then, Nord, right now as we sit here. Do you think we'll win the league?
No.
Reasons? Just the manager?
The only thing that can defeat Arsenal this season is Arsenal.
Yeah, and we've seen that before.
And that's the thing. I hope I'm wrong. I truly hope I am wrong. I just have a massive question mark when it comes to pressure games. When it comes to pressure games, I have a massive question mark. When we get figured out in-game management, what are we doing? We're going to keep relying on Trossard and Martinelli. I just don't see any consistency in terms of getting over the line with the way that we're playing. Knockout stages and cups. It's not about just not conceding goals. You know what I mean? It's not about
semi-finals. One goal in the last seven final matches. The guy is a bottler.
So I mean, I don't know, man. A part of me is like, I'll be real. A part of me is like, I want to I want to believe. Of course, you support a team. You want to believe. You want to believe that your club is going to win something. You want to believe that your club is good enough to get over the line. And I like what Bert has done. I like a lot of the additions that we brought in. I like the quality that we have within the team. It's not perfect, but I like the quality we have in the team. But at the same time, it's like when shit goes sideways, what is the plan? What is the plan? Some of the players on the bench here that we can all agree should be getting more minutes. Are they going to be ready? I mean, we fielded a lot of them against Brighton, and you can see a lot of them are rusty. These are the players that he's going to rely on at the crunch end of the season if the starting 11 ain't getting the job done. We already see that he wants to give certain players limited minutes. He's done it already with Ethan. He's doing it now with Skelly. He's doing it with Dowman. These will be the players that he's going to bring onto the pitch to try and get over the line. But you give them microwave minutes to the point that I don't think they're ready to come off the bench and affect the game. Then you're putting all your eggs on Trossard and Martinelli that we know have limitations to how good they can play throughout the duration of the season. Then we don't see different styles of play. We continue to play for set pieces. We start games and we care more about not conceding than getting the game wrapped up. I just think all of these things will be limitations. Even the fact that he's still trying to put Eze on the wing, you know what I mean? Still playing Skelly as a left back. These are things that he'll only try to, if he does change, next season. Normally, Arteta goes into a season, the way that we're going to play is the way we're going to play for the whole season. Any experiments that he's making now, he will only learn from them the next season, if he does learn. He won't apply it this season. So we're not going to see Skelly in the midfield, forget it. We're not going to see Dowman getting more minutes, forget it. He's already deemed that he's not getting enough minutes. He did it already with Ethan and he stuck to that. Ethan was coming off the bench last season and he was impacting games with 15, 20 minutes to go, scoring goals, still holding bench. You know what I mean? So I don't think that this is a manager that, that really and truly that he had to change the 3DM in the midfield because we were dropping so many points.
But he'll go back to it, Nord. In some important game, he's going to fucking go back to that. Some semi-final or a final, he'll start with Marino and those guys in midfield again. You know it's going to happen. He'll do so. So that's what when you were talking about when the crunch game comes. Some game will come when it's really important and he'll go right back to it to try and prove a point.
This is what I mean. Like, listen, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we can approach the big games the way we did against Atleti. Hopefully that's a change within this manager. I don't want him to make me right. I want Arteta to prove us wrong. We don't want him to be if you play with the intent that you played against Atleti, I don't know you're going to have to adjust depending on who we're playing, but have some actual intent of winning the game. What I don't want to see, what I've got PTSD is the PSG game, because I felt like he was actually, not only were we outclassed on the pitch, we were outclassed in the dugout. He was absolutely tactically done. And I saw nothing from this manager. And for you to get tactically stunned like that, for me, is not acceptable. It's not acceptable because when we saw the game of what was it? Inter PSG, Inter Barca? Yeah, Inter Barca.
Yeah. Oh, it was just changing back and forth the tactics.
Look at the levels of tacticians. Do you know what I mean? Not only
that was a work of art. That was a work of art on both dugouts.
I have not seen this manager in knockout football or the crunch end of the season tactically do anything that what resembled for them two managers into Barca. And that is why I think this guy's limited.
And think of the other semi-finals he's gone out in when he's got done like that. The Newcastle semi-final, completely and utterly out-tactic. Both legs. Absolutely schooled in both legs. We lost 4-0 over two legs. Outschooled against PSG. Outschooled by Emery with Villarreal. Outschooled by Bayern Munich in the Champions League a couple of years ago. It's happened so often to him. Olympiacos, man. Olympiacos. He was outschooled, right? And this is always at the crunch moment. Always at the crunch moment. 23-24. We went away to the Etihad. We had them on the ropes. Gary Neville, everybody after. That was their chance. They should have taken it to them. They should have taken them. We'd have beaten them at the Etihad. It's over. The Villa game doesn't matter. And even Rodri said it at the end of the season on the pitch when they were celebrating the league. We knew we had them after that. We knew we had them. They didn't have the mentality. We knew it. They didn't have it up here. And then we went to the Villa game after getting that draw and it's still in our hands. And he switches Havertz back into midfield for absolutely no reason. We're going off on one. Absolutely no reason. Trying to make it about himself. And even the best managers have moments like that. Pep often overthinks big European finals. We've seen him make stupid changes before the game to try and make it about him. I remember one time Mourinho with the first stint at Chelsea when they were just unbeatable, and he played Liverpool in the cup, and he put Ferrer out the right, and he put a defensive midfielder at right back, and he tried to be really smart, and he got beaten 2-0. And it was like, that was just about you. You were trying to make that about you. You were trying to win with some ridiculous change and then go, oh, look at me, I'm a genius. But this guy does it every single time. And it's because he's scared. Like, if you're worried about something, you overthink it to death. You overthink it to death. If you have problems in your personal life, or someone's annoying you, or you keep thinking about it, you keep checking your phone, and you keep looking back at the message you sent, going, oh, God, did they read it this way, that way? And then the next one you send is ridiculous because you've overthought it. This is what he does because he's scared. And you see him on the sideline against PSG. Bring Ethan on. What are you doing? You need a game changer. Nothing's working. Throw on the kid. Let him have a Roy the Rovers moment. Nah, he puts Tierney out the wing, and you go, you absolute fucking coward, man. You know what I mean? You are a coward. And that's what happened at home to City. That's what happened away to Liverpool. Like, look at Liverpool now. Why did we sit back? And we should have absolutely battered them. Absolutely battered them, and we wouldn't be sitting here having the same conversation. But I always put it like this, North, and I say it to my chat for the people that are on our side, right? We win at the end of this season. No matter what happens, you and I and Lee, and we all win, because either we end up with the league or the Champions League, or he blows them and he gets sacked. So we get a new manager. So at the end of this season, I can't lose. I can't lose as an Arsenal fan. The top gooners who have put all their eggs into this basket, and people have mentioned Dan's show from the other night, it was disgraceful. They're all just trying to pressure DJB and Kenny Cade into admitting they were wrong. And someone put in the chat saying, I've heard the word Arteta about 10 times more than I've heard the word Arsenal. Because that's what they put all their eggs into this basket now, and it's all about proving us wrong and admit you were wrong about Arteta. No, I'll never admit I was wrong about him, because even if he gets over the line in the league, he's still on fraud watch for me because of what he's doing to players, injuries-wise, because of all the stuff he hasn't won, because of the times he's blown it. Maybe he'll get better. And I'll finish on this. I felt for the first time after that Atletico game, I was saying that's the best I've felt as an Arsenal fan for about 2.5 years. And then I went online, and it was just, oh, we're the best team in the world. We're this, we're that. We're going to win the quadruple. And just went, you just fucking ruined it, man. 2 minutes after, you ruined it for me, because they take the joy out of everything, out of absolutely everything. They really do, because they go so overboard and they inflate it all. And you're looking at them going, oh, yeah, like Christian said, in the same breath, he said, we have the best team in the world, right? But we're not going to win the Champions League. Make that make sense. How can you claim that we have the best team in the world in the same breath say that we're not going to win it? Because the best team in the world will win the Champions League. So it's not always the best team in the world that wins the Champions League, but if you are, you normally do. You normally do a quadruple, or you do a, like Barcelona's Pep team that won the sextuple, and Hansi Flick's Bayern team that did the same. That's when you're the best team in the world. But I look at us and go, really, Calafiori at left back, Martinelli or Trossard out the wing, Gyökeres misfiring up front. You can't really say we're the best team in the world. You can't. You look at Bayern's front line and you go, right, Kane, who's probably, along with Haaland, the two most informed forwards on the planet, and Mbappe, the most informed forwards on the planet. You have Olise balling out, and you have Diaz on the other side, and then you go through their midfield and you go, I don't think we have a better squad than them. You can't say we have a better squad than them, because there's no weaknesses in their squads. There's weaknesses in ours. And then you look at us for world-class players and you go, Timber's knocking on the door, Gabriel's knocking on the door, but I don't think that any of our players are what I consider world-class. Not yet, where I think City have 2 or 3, and I think Liverpool have, if Salah can get back to it, they have maybe 3 as well. So that'd be my fear, is that just these teams can come back into it. But I'm with you. PTSD will hold me back until he's lifting that trophy. I'll always believe that this guy will find a way to blow it.
No, I agree, man. I agree. I feel like they take the fun out of it, and then as soon as you're praising, oh, what you saying now? So, oh, well, you moan you moan if I moan about something, and you moan if I praise. What do you want me to do? It's just whatever, man. That's why I just best is just sticking to what you got to say, and that's it. They like it, they like it. They don't like it, I don't give a shit.
100%. 100%.
Couldn't be asked, man. But yeah, man, listen, big up Shane every single time. Shout out your channel, bro, where people can find you.
Yeah, man. Shane Gooner. Obviously, I'm having the Bruised Banana 8:30 tonight, the panel show. I will have the legend that is that is Jezza, Normski, BBK, and Views. And then obviously back for the full Irish tomorrow morning. That is Serie A watch along on Saturday, right after the Arsenal match. Actually, I did have the fucking Roma Milan game lined up, but I'm doing off topic on Sunday night, so I won't be doing that. But yeah, lots of stuff lined up. But make sure that you're over at 8:30. We will be getting into some juicy topics, including a certain someone's disrespectful prank phone call to the one and only Arsene Wenger. So we'll be covering that as well. But make sure you come over 8:30 on the Bruised Banana. And I'm looking forward to that. But listen, thanks for having me on, man, and the legendary chat. Big up to Rashid as well in the chat. What a legend.
Nah, big up, bro. Every single time. 8:30 on Shane's channel. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. The link is in the description. Make sure you're supporting. Big up to Rashid. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Big up to Views as well. Big up to everyone that is locked in. We're going to redirect to Lee, Northside Raid on the way in. And we will see you guys later on Shane's show. Love.